black person in the history of the United States. Kanye West is the richest black man in the history of the U.S. I'm not kidding. I'm going to break this down for you in 1 second on Dr. Boyce TV. So please hit the thumbs up button, share button, subscribe button. We're going to talk about Kanye West and his new net worth revelation in 1 second. Let's get started now.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm, great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones too late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to co-sign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent black people. I owe Kanye West an apology. I owe Kanye an apology, and let me tell you why I owe him an apology. I had a conversation with Kanye West. I've had interactions with 3 interesting rappers this past year. Kanye West, Ice Cube, and T.I. I met T.I. when I was in Ghana. Ice Cube and I talked a lot during the 2020 presidential election. And Kanye reached out because we were talking about Dr. Claude Anderson and Powernomics and a few other things that I won't go into because it's not important. But here's the thing. Here's why I owe Kanye an apology. I got to make this public, man. When I talked to Kanye, I was kind of taken aback. He's a good listener. He's seems like a good guy. I don't know the brother like that, but he mentioned to me in the conversation that he's worth $4 billion. He mentioned that to me, and I didn't, I don't really care. I don't care how much money another man has. If it ain't making a difference in my life or the lives of the people I know, then, I'm happy for you, but I'm not obsessed on that. But I remember when I heard $4 billion, I said, oh, there goes Kanye being Kanye. He also made another interesting prediction in the conversation. I'm not kidding on this. This is fascinating because there's something spiritual about Kanye West that just speaks to his ability to manifest. So I think it should be heard, no matter how crazy you think he might be. He also said, I'm definitely going to be president of the United States in the year 2024. He said that. He said that I'm running for president now, and this is just practice. And I said, practice? What do you mean by practice? And he said, well, I'm just practicing now so I'll know the rules and know how to do it. Next time I'm going to be president for real. Well, I'll be damned if Kanye West ain't acting like he might actually do this shit. I mean, I'm flipping right now. I am flipping because I'm gonna tell you, I see the same Kanye West that a lot of y'all see. I see a guy that seems to be confused a lot. I see a guy that does things that almost seem a little bit weird. Almost like he's from another planet. I'm not gonna lie. He's an interesting kind of guy, but I'll be damned if he was not right. So I got to make a public apology. When Kanye West said to me that he was worth $4 billion, I said to Alicia, I said, I think he's overestimating his net worth, but I hope that he achieves his goal. But he's clearly talking about something that hasn't happened yet. And I was dead wrong. It has been confirmed by People Magazine, among other sources, Bloomberg, which are legitimate media outlets, that Kanye West is now worth $6.6 billion. $6.6 billion. Most of that net worth is coming from the deals he has with Adidas and the Gap. He's got a shoe deal or something with Adidas, and he's got an apparel deal with the Gap. I don't know who the hell's buying all these clothes. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't never bought a single piece of Kanye West clothing in my life. Honestly, it's like putting on a bowl of Fruit Loops sometimes to me. Like I look at the clothes, I'm like, that pink is a little too pinkish. I don't wear pink anyway. I don't get it. I don't get it. I do not get anything that Kanye's doing in that space, but God bless this dude. I mean, God bless Kanye West for proving all of us wrong, making us look stupid. Because I'm going to tell you like this. I remember my first interaction in terms of seeing Kanye West from a public eye. I met him this year for the first time, but the first time I saw him was about maybe a little bit less than 20 years ago. And let me tell you, I saw this guy. My first thought was, wow, this guy really thinks highly of himself. I remember he said that if I go into hip hop and if my lyrics are even half as good as my beats, he said, I'm gonna murder the game. I'm gonna murder the game. And I heard him say it and I said, wow, he's a new rapper and he's talking like he's gonna be the next big thing. And I'll be damned if he didn't become the next big thing and continue to be the next big thing for many, many years. Now some of us we have things to say about Kanye. Some people don't like, the Christian turn that he took. That Christian thing seemed real. We talked about Christian stuff on the phone. Like I mean, it's all these things that you're hearing publicly. Like we brought that up. Um, and I told him my fiance is a therapist. He said, "Oh, is she a Christian therapist?" I said, "Well, why?" And so I don't know. But I was just sitting there and I just remember thinking when he said he was worth $4 billion. I just said, "Okay, come on, man, really." Now here's the deal. Here's where I'm gonna go with this. So first of all, congratulations to Kanye West. All the media outlets are reporting that he's worth the 6.6 billion. I don't doubt that. I think the number is going to grow. I think he's going to continue to rise. I love to see anybody rise up above the haters. Kanye was all over the place, politically. He got a lot of feedback or pushback for what he believed in the election. He was a Trump guy, and everybody thought he was going to get canceled for that. And I say to hell with anybody that's trying to cancel somebody for who they voted for. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that stuff. If you vote for somebody different from me, that does not mean I have a right to act like you don't deserve a chance to make a living. How am I going to get in such a plantation fight where I'm arguing with you that my master is better than your master? You up here tickling Joe Biden's balls and you want to get on another black person because they voted for Trump? Or you Candace Owens and you sitting up under Donald Trump looking damn near like a mistress, and then you're coming out and being critical of black people who decide to support Biden? I think all of it's wrong. I think all of it's wrong. I think that black people deserve to be free. Freedom means that you can vote for who you want to without being attacked or shamed or being shut down or being told you can't go make a living. Anybody who doesn't agree with that, I have to question you because you caping for these political parties a little bit too hard. These political parties have harmed black people. Why are you caping for your candidate so hard? What's wrong with you, Negro? So Kanye had a right to do whatever he wanted to do in this election. I still believe that. If he wanted to vote for Mickey Mouse, this is America. America is a place where you're supposed to be free. You're supposed to be allowed to do what you want to do without other people attacking you for exercising your own personal right. So, with that being said, here's what I think you can learn from Kanye West and the fact that he's worth all this money. And here's a thought. If you could do me a favor, real quick, please hit the thumbs up button, share button, subscribe button. We're building black media over here, and we can really use your help. And also, I'd be remiss not to mention my friends over at Education Over Entertainment. While we celebrate and support the entertainers, your entertainment should not be your education. If you have no education, you don't choose education over entertainment, then your entertainers will be your education. Next thing you know, your daughters run around trying to sell WAP for a box of crayons because she saw Cardi B say that it was okay on the Grammys. They poisoning your kids' minds, got you thinking that your daughter wants to grow up and be a hoe, and that being a hoe, a wealthy hoe, means that you're a successful person. No, it's not. I don't care how much money you're making in the strip club. If you ride on that stripper pole, that probably means you got a lot of problems that go far beyond your bank account. So let's protect our little black girls and start making sure that they're learning from the right people and our little boys so that they're not growing up wanting to be ignorant thugs. With that said, let's finish up with Kanye West here. Kanye West is now worth $6.6 billion, according to People and Bloomberg. He deserves that money. Oh, and by the way, that URL, springintowealth.com, that's the event that Education Over Entertainment is doing this weekend. I'm going to give 2 lectures, one on how to build your own family bank, another one on how to turn your child into a millionaire. They've got a lot of other financial experts speaking at the event. If you go into springintowealth.com, if you want 20% off, use the code word Dr. Watkins. It's one word, Dr. Watkins. You can get 20% off. It's a great event. It's going to be this weekend. I forgot to mention that. Final thought on Kanye West. Here's the deal. All right, so Kanye West has all this money. I'm sure Kanye West is very happy to say that he was right. He told Forbes when Forbes said that he was worth 1.3 billion. Because white people want to minimize you whenever they can, and they feel like they need to validate you. He really came back and said to them, he said, "Y'all need to learn how to count. He said, my net worth is over $3 billion. Y'all need to learn how to count. And I remember that, and I thought, wow, okay, maybe he is worth this much. I don't know. So, Kanye really, you might not like him or dislike him, but I'm gonna just tell you, if you put aside the fact that it does come off as a little bit of narcissism, I'm not gonna lie, y'all know me, I got to tell you the truth on what I'm seeing. He does show a certain spiritual power to manifest. There's something special about a person who has consistently gone out and said, I'm the greatest. There's another guy from Louisville who happened to be a second cousin of mine by marriage by the name of Muhammad Ali. I'm from Louisville too. My grandma used to tell me stories about Ali, and she went to high school with him. And everybody said this Negro is crazy because he keeps running around talking about he's the prettiest, I'm the greatest, I'm gonna take down anybody, I can whoop any man, and everything else. And everybody loved it. Well, Kanye West has a little bit of Muhammad Ali in him. You can't hate on that, right? You can't hate on that. He's not perfect, but he's got a little bit of Muhammad Ali. I love that. I want to see him win. What I think though is also the other thought on Kanye is this: now that you're worth $6.6 billion, there's a point where bragging about how wealthy you are can get a little bit old. There's a point where there has to be more than that. There's a point where your manifesting ability has to expand beyond how much money you have for you, yourself, and your children. There's a point where the black community needs to see a come up off of this. I'm not saying that Kanye shouldn't, celebrate and he can gloat all he wants about the money he made. God bless him. That's his money. But I'm looking at the community now, right? And I'm not saying this isn't possible. I think it's gonna happen. I really do. Kanye is he's a Powernomics guy. When I did talk to Kanye, the reason we talked was not because he wanted to know what music to put in his next album. We didn't talk about women and strippers and drugs and popping mollies and where to look at. We didn't talk about any of that. We talked about Powernomics. We talked about Dr. Claude Anderson. And in that moment, I remember I did say to Kanye, I said, man, I think that one of the problems with Powernomics is when we know black people need this is that a lot of people take the ideas of Dr. Claude Anderson and they run up to Capitol Hill and they recite word for word what he said and don't give him credit. Washington, D.C. he lives right there in Washington, D.C., just a couple miles from the White House. And all these Negroes sitting in Capitol Hill talking about they solving black economic problems. None of them reach out to people like Dr. Anderson to ask for help to solve these problems. They're claiming that they're thinking about possibly one day maybe investigating reparations to decide if black people deserve reparations, which by the way, you should see this as an insult. They're sitting on the Capitol Hill deciding, I wonder if we should even consider acknowledging that these black people deserve reparations. And Dr. Anderson made it clear that he wrote the study on reparations. The book is called Black Labor, White Wealth, where he breaks down the receipts on slavery and how money was made, the cost of a slave in 1822, all the way down to exactly how the wealth was stolen from black people. And they act like they need to do a study. So I did say to him, I said, man, this is what I was talking to Kanye. And this is the part of the conversation I can reveal. I don't think he will have a problem with this. I said, people don't give credit to the black people that really deserve the credit. And let me tell y'all what he did. This is a power move. The fact that this guy's worth $6 billion and he did this meant a lot to me. Go to his Twitter. Right in that moment, Kanye got real quiet. And I said, you there, man? You still on the phone? And he said, yeah, I'm doing something real quick. I'm tweeting something real quick. I said, okay, all right, go ahead. So we waited about 30 seconds. And within that 30-second period, he tweeted an image of Dr. Anderson's book and said, everybody needs to read Powernomics. At that point, in my mind, I said, we've got an ally. We've got an ally. He might be a little bit different from the rest of us. He might have voted for Trump, and maybe a lot of y'all wouldn't do that. I'm not telling you to do that. By God, I'm not telling you who to vote for. I don't do that kind of thing. But the fact that this black man who's now sitting on this big pile of money, who's going to get all kinds of attention from the world, all the people that call him names and hate him and want to cancel him, a lot of those people are going to be begging for money later on. He is a Powernomics guy. That is a power move for the black community. If he follows that belief with even a couple ounces of consistent action, this can change the trajectory of black people for the next 200, 300 years. I'm a smart guy in certain areas. I know my stuff really well when it comes to economics and finance. My doctorate's in this stuff. I've been teaching college students for 27 years, but I don't have $6.6 billion in net worth to move and shake the earth the way Kanye does. So my hope and my prayer for Kanye West, and I don't know him well enough as his friend, so I'm not even, believe me, if I were talking to him, I'd be saying the same thing to him. Is there's a point where when you have all this money and all this power, there's a responsibility that comes with that. There's a level of consciousness required where, sure, you can tell everybody that you think that you're a God. There's nothing wrong with that. We all got a little God in us. All of you can manifest the power of God. Kanye is a manifester. I'm convinced of that. But at the same time, I don't really want to know how many women you had sex with. I don't want to know how great you are. I get after a while we get a little tired of hearing about how nice your car is or how fancy, how big your house is, man. I want to see you going out here really doing some stuff for black people on a very high level. Not to say he's not doing that, but I think that when you're talking about being worth $6.6 billion, then yeah, you should and can lead the way in building a school system for black people so black people can be educated by other black people instead of signing up to sit in the jaws of white supremacy so we can spend our whole life complaining about how mean white people are to us, right? There's a space where on a systematic level, 100,000 jobs can be created in the black community so we don't have to go work for people who hate our guts every single day. Elon Musk is a guy that Kanye West admires. Well, Elon Musk created 1 million jobs for white people, or 500,000 or whatever between Tesla and SpaceX. I bet Elon Musk has employed 500,000 or 600,000 white people. Jeff Bezos, who's also a multi-billionaire, has employed over 1 million white people. So what I want to see from rappers, I love to see this, and this is not even a negative toward Kanye, because I don't know what the man has in store. I mean, I think whatever he wants to do, y'all better listen. You better listen. Stop acting like you think you can cancel this guy, because he's literally coming in on some other level shit. You might deny it, but this is some other level stuff. God bless him for that. But what I will say is that when it comes to the rappers and it comes to anybody, the people in entertainment that are doing well on that level, we got to grow up a little bit. We must grow past this idea that we celebrate narcissism. We celebrate what appears to be some type of mental dysfunction where you get on the album and spend the whole album bragging about how great you are instead of bragging about how great we can all be together. That's what I think we need to transition. We need to transition from the power of me to the power of we. We need to transition from talking about how wonderful I am and how big my penis is and how wet my wop is and how cool my car is and how many women I slept with, how many mollies I took, to really talking about how many schools you built. How many apartment complexes did you develop for low-income black people? How many jobs did you create in the community? Can I go to the Marcy Projects? Jay-Z's a billionaire. Jay-Z and Beyonce are doing extremely well. Well, if you're doing that well, then I don't measure you by how well you're doing. I measure you by how well your community is doing. Can I go to the Marcy Projects and find 5,000 people who say my life is better now because of something that Jay-Z built in Marcy Projects? If the Marcy Projects of 2021 still looks like the Marcy Projects of 1992, well, then the question becomes, how does this really matter? How does this matter but for anything other than hero worship? Hero worship gets the black community nowhere. Hero worship it's rooted in a lot of the church. I heard a Beyonce song with Anthony Hamilton. Alicia loves Anthony Hamilton. She made me go to an Anthony Hamilton concert, y'all. And let me just tell you though, that boy can sing. That black man can sing his butt off. And I actually became a fan of Anthony Hamilton. I went to the concert not because I would normally go to an Anthony Hamilton concert. I don't go to concerts, but I followed Alicia around anywhere. I was just happy to be next to that girl because I love a sexy black woman. And my God, I was so excited to be with her. So, but Anthony Hamilton and Beyonce had this song. And I swear to God, I listened to this song and it was like a gospelish kind of song. And the chorus of the song, all it did in the whole song was basically say, I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough, but he still loves me. I've been kicked around. I've been spat on. I've been talked about. I ain't nothing, but he still loves me. And I'm sitting here listening to this thinking, my God, if I listen to this kind of message on a daily basis every single day, I would hate myself to the point where I would literally want to slit my wrist and jump out the window because clearly I am worthless. And I'm not a fan of that gospel. I'm not a fan of the gospel of low self-esteem, because that's where you get that hero worship. Because what they're basically saying is, you ain't nothing, you ain't worthy, you ain't good enough, which means that you can't set a standard for yourself because you can't meet a standard. You can't even put the hurdle 2 inches off the ground because you can't jump 2 inches off the ground. The only way you can survive and get by is if you lean on some sort of white Jesus or some sort of hero to worship, or somebody where you can sit on your knees and tickle their balls or rub their feet and beg them to take care of you and protect you. That's where this worship of these political figures comes into play. That's why we worship the Joe Bidens, because we don't think we're worthy and capable of doing anything or meeting any kind of standard unless we get a hero and a savior. That's why we worship our rappers who will sit there and tell you how amazing I am. Look at how much money I got. Look at how rich I am. And y'all sitting there broke as hell talking about, yeah, man, look at that car, dog. Look at that house he got. Oh, man. Well, you know, your low self-esteem ass need to stop saying I'm not worthy and say I am worthy. And stop saying, like, I love the fact that you're doing well, to saying I need all of us to do well. Saying, you know, it's good that you eat, and I'm going to clap for the fact that you're eating, but we all should be eating. If we don't all eat, then nobody eats. Malcolm X had that philosophy from day zero. He said, if you are not treating all my people well, then you're not treating me well. If you don't respect all my people, then you don't respect me. If all my people aren't doing good, then I'm not doing good. So I think that our rappers can learn from some of that, but so can you. The hero worship is a problem. And the fact that people take advantage of that and prop themselves up as heroes and gods that we're supposed to worship is also a problem, because they're taking advantage of the fact that your whole life you've been told that you ain't nothing but a lowly Negro. That your ninja ass can't do nothing by yourself without the help from a white employer. That's why you spend your whole life chasing for jobs for white people. Or you can't do nothing in this world unless a white man validates you and gives you a Grammy, or gives you some sort of stupid award, or gives you some sort of some sort of accolade or acknowledgement when he put me on TV. Look at me, boss. I'm on TV. Oh, I done came up, mama. I am somebody. I went to Brown University. Look at me. Or you get like Candace Owens and Cardi B, who are having the stupidest argument in the history of all arguments. So Cardi's calling out Candace because Candace got this white man for a husband, and Candace Owens is sitting up under Donald Trump looking like a mistress or something. And then Candace turns around and says something about Cardi B, which is actually true. Like, who were the people that benefited? You talk about my husband being white. Well, who benefits when you out here selling WAP and degrading the black community, making black women look like a pack of hoes? Who's paying you for that? And it ain't black people. Black people aren't the ones who are pushing that stuff out there. You know who's doing that, right? So what's funny about that whole back and forth is it's a plantation fight. It's a plantation fight. It's saying my master is better than your master. We're really, I'm not looking for the person with a master. I'm looking for the liberated black person. So when you talk about liberated black people, one of the things that you can say that you have to give a Kanye West credit for is the fact that he's one of the freest black men in America. Whether you like who he voted for or not, he did not get caught up in this nonsense that says that you got to go around here and kiss the butt of a man who spent his whole career putting black people in prison. What is wrong with you? I mean, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong. I'm not telling you can't vote for who you want to vote for. But my God, can the admiration please stop? Can there be a point where we say, okay, I'm not going to give you credit for anything behind this. Like, I'm not going to keep going down the gravy train of believing that you are my Lord and Savior on every level. How about you say, I voted for Biden because of this, this, and this, but I had an issue with this, this, and that. How about you set a standard? Again, you don't set standards because you don't feel like you're worthy. You feel like unworthy people have no right or ability to set a standard. Unworthy people can't do anything on their own. That's why you make fun of black people who talk about building their own. You don't believe black people can accomplish anything because your whole life you've been told that you ain't nothing but a worthless, pathetic ninja. And that's kept you in a box. Well, God bless Kanye West, because that brother ain't in a box. And he's showing that he ain't in a box. 6.6 billion reasons why Kanye West might be smarter than 99.9% of all of us. But while I give him credit for being smarter, I give him credit for being free, I give him credit for being his own man, I challenge him to come back with a model that says, now that I've made my 6.6 billion and I flip that into 10 billion, 20 billion, 30 billion, I'm going to go out here and create 20, 30 other or 20, 30 other black billionaires. I'm going to create 10,000 black millionaires. I'm going to create such an economic revolution in the black community that we're going to be remembered for the next 400 years. That to me would be truly epic in terms of his contribution to the world. And I look forward to seeing that. Let's hope that he does this. Congratulations, Kanye. I'm happy for you, man. I don't know if I'm ever talk to Kanye again. I think him and Dr. Anderson might talk. I have no idea, but I'm really proud to see a Powernomics guy make this kind of achievement. Kanye West, y'all, right now is the richest black man or black woman in the history of the United States. Let's go ahead and clap for that. He deserves it. He proved everybody wrong. I'm out of here, guys. If you could, please hit the thumbs up button, share button, subscribe button if you haven't done it yet. You can go to the allblackagenda.com where we have a list of items for the Black Agenda, including my $5 a day investing plan. So you can become investors. I want millions of black people investing. That's how you're going to build wealth. A lot of you have been making money this week in the stock market. Today was a wonderful day in the market. There's going to be a lot of other wonderful days in the future. You're not too late. Don't worry about what you know. Don't worry about how far you come. Just jump in and get started. Go to the allblackagenda.com. There's a lot of free and low cost resources there. You can use that stuff to get your family moving. I don't care too much. I care about what Kanye does, but I care more about you. So I want to see you win. I want to see you succeed. So feel free to go to that website. I hope there's something there that helps you. I'm out of here, guys. Please have a good day. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Peace.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones too late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.